God Connects. Chapter 8. Someone gripped my arm. I spun around, my fist already clenched, immediately ready to lay out whoever I found. But all I saw was a sweet older lady about a third my size, smiling up at me. The woman ignored the look in my eyes and spread her arms for a hug. I stared at her, waiting for my heart to stop thumping in my throat. I'd forgotten myself for a moment. This wasn't a prison yard. This wasn't a biker bar. She kept smiling, as patient as a saint. There was no escape. She wrapped her frail arms around my back and brought me in for a hug. This was church. I'd been a Christian for about 3 days when Matt had again showed up, grinning in his truck. Our destination this time was called Alpha at River Valley Assemblies of God in Apple Valley, Minnesota. I knew nothing about this stuff. I grew up in a good home. My parents were Catholic. I did all the rites and we showed up on Sundays fairly regularly. But I hadn't been to church in decades, and this was nothing like I remembered it. Alpha is a program for people new to the faith. We were in a room filled with people excited to learn more about Jesus. Everyone was smiling. All these strangers seemed happy to see me. There was a lot of laughter and hugging. I still don't like to be touched, so I tried to keep my distance, but within minutes I was wrapped up in the arms of a woman whose gray hair barely reached my chest. As easy as that, I was connected. I ate dinner and listened to the program. By the end of the evening, I had met dozens more people and even allowed a couple more to hug me. I had known darkness could be contagious. It spreads through basements and garages, through the users and dealers caught up in the world of drugs. I discovered that night, however, that light was contagious also. I was buzzing when I got home. I felt joyful. I felt alive. I felt full of the Spirit. I felt like myself, like I was finally the person God had created me to be. I was hooked. I showed up at River Valley for worship on Sunday morning. I loved the music and the message. Everywhere I looked, I saw Jesus. It didn't matter to anyone what I'd done. They knew my history, that I'd been a meth cook and a drug dealer. They knew I'd spent time in prison. But still, they greeted me warmly and invited me to sit next to them. God had connected me to this community, and I learned quickly that connection is the opposite of addiction.